हेलो बच्चों, वेलकम टू SPSVERSITY। आज हमें डिस्कस करेंगे एनाटॉमी ऑफ फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स। व्हाट इज meant by anatomy? Anatomy means study of internal organization of living organisms. In the previous chapter, we studied about external features, which is called morphology. Internal organization, it is called anatomy. In this anatomy, we'll be majorly studying about tissues, their systems. This specific study of tissues and tissue systems is called histology. So histology means study of tissues. Okay. Say tissues में plant tissues के बारे में आया तो. So tissues means group of cells having common origin. एक ग्रुप ऑफ सेल्स रहता, इसको ओरिजिन सेम रहता, सो इसको क्या बोलते हैं कि टिश्यूज। टिश्यूज में प्लांट्स में आए तो टिश्यूज बेसिकली इट इज डिवाइडेड इनटू टू, मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज एंड permanent tissues. Meristematic means the young tissues and immature tissues, उसको क्या बोलते हैं कि meristematic tissues. And permanent tissues means which are old and mature one, उसको क्या बोलते हैं कि permanent tissues. परमानेंट टिश्यूज में दो टाइप्स रहता, सिंपल और कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यू। सिंपल में पैरेन्काइमा, कोलेन्काइमा, स्क्लेरेन्काइमा रहता। परमानेंट टिश्यूज, कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यूज में जाइलम, फ्लोएम रहता। अभी हमें पढ़ेंगे मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज के बारे में। So these meristematic tissues, the cells are young and immature. So a cells may a cell division, they have the capacity of cell division. That means they can undergo cell division and form new cells. So generally it is by mitosis only. So they have power of cell division, that is by mitosis they will form new cells, and this process is a continuous process. Okay. अभी characteristics of meristematic tissues में आए तो the cells have thin wall. Cell wall is very thin. Cell wall is thin means it is made up of only the middle lamellum and primary cell wall. A cell wall में middle lamellum और primary cell wall रहता, secondary cell wall नहीं रहता. They have abundant more amount of cytoplasm. They can retain power of cell division. और सेल के बीच में वो स्पेस नहीं रहता, इंट्रासेलुलर स्पेस इज एब्सेंट. So the space between is intercellular space is absent between the cells. Okay. Meristematic tissues कहाँ रहता? प्लांट्स में किधर रहता? प्लांट्स में स्टेम एपेक्स और रूट एपेक्स में मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज रहता. अब देख रहे पिक्चर ये, it is nothing but stem apex. Stem apex में उसका ये रहता meristematic tissues. It is root tip, that is root apex which has meristematic tissues. So generally, meristematic tissues are present in young regions of the plant, like stem apex, root apex. In these young regions, they are present. Okay. अभी classification of meristems में आया तो, on what basis will classify meristems? So meristems are classified based on position in the plant body. किधर रहता plant body, उसका position लेके हम classification करेंगे. So based on position, there are 3 types of meristems. इसमें 3 types of meristems रहता. So apical meristems, intercalary meristems, और lateral meristems. So apical, intercalary और lateral meristems. अभी हमें पढ़ाएंगे apical meristems के बारे में. Apical meristems are present at apices. Apices means like shoot apex, stem apex, root apex. A root apex, stem apex, branch apex, इसके apex में रहने वाले tissues को क्या बोलते हैं कि apical meristems. They will differentiate into primary tissues. और apical meristems के द्वारा क्या होता है कि length, it will increase in length. Okay. और इसमें axillary buds भी रहता है which are present in the axil of leaves. So apical meristems will increase the length of the plant body and they are present in root and stem apex. Intercalary meristems ये कहाँ रहता है? Intercalary meristems generally they are present in grasses. और grasses में किधर रहता? Just above the nodes. That means they are present in internodal regions. These meristems also increase the length, that is, they will cause primary growth of the plant body. During primary growth, the length of the body is increased. Grasses में क्या होता है कि due to animals like cow and buffalo, the parts are eaten due to animals. It are regenerated by this intercalary meristems. Intercalary meristems will regenerate the eaten parts by grazing animals like cow, buffalo. Generally, grasses may present. Lateral meristems से कहाँ रहता? They are present on the parallelly on the sides of orgone, parallel to the sides of organs. और lateral meristems में क्या होता है कि secondary tissues, that means it will cause secondary growth. प्राइमरी ग्रोथ बोले तो उसमें लेंथ इंक्रीज होता. इनिशियली प्लांट्स में प्राइमरी ग्रोथ रहता. प्राइमरी ग्रोथ में लेंथ इंक्रीज होता, बाद में सेकेंडरी ग्रोथ होता. ये सेकेंडरी ग्रोथ में क्या होता है कि it will increase the width of the plant. So plants में है तो growth में primary growth और secondary growth रहता. Initial growth which will increase the length, it is called primary growth. And the next growth after primary growth, it is secondary growth which will increase in the width of the plant. इसके examples क्या आता है कि lateral meristem, that is vascular cambium and cork cambium, which are formed during secondary growth in dicot stem. Okay. So अभी तक हमें पढ़ा है classification of meristems based on position. इसमें 3 टाइप्स रहता, एपिकल मेरिस्टम्स, इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टम्स और लेटरल मेरिस्टम्स. बेस्ड ऑन ऑरिजिन इसमें भी रहता डिफरेंट टाइप्स. पहला टाइप एक है कि प्रोमेरिस्टम्स. So promeristem's means which are present from the starting of the lifespan, that is, which are present in the embryo or seedling stage, which give rise to primary meristems. That means which will cause primary. Okay. So these are promeristems which will cause, that is, the primary growth. बाद में क्या है कि प्राइमरी मेरिस्टम्स. ये प्राइमरी मेरिस्टम्स कहाँ से आते हैं? They will come from promeristem's. So primary meristems will arise from promeristems. Okay. So this primary meristems, which will differentiate into primary or secondary permanent tissues. Okay. What examples are these? Apical meristems, fascicular cambium, intercalary meristem is pura primary meristems. It will come under primary meristems. Okay. Which are formed from promeristems and which will increase the length, which will form primary tissues. प्राइमरी मेरिस्टम्स में आप लिए तो रूट एपिकल मेरिस्टम और शूट एपिकल मेरिस्टम. सो रूट एपिकल मेरिस्टम में लिए तो रूट में एपिकल मेरिस्टम रहता है, इसमें एपिकल मेरिस्टम्स रहता. और स्टेम एपेक्स में इधर भी एक रहता मेरिस्टेमैटिक सेल्स रहता, उसको क्या बोलते हैं कि मेरिस्टेमैटिक जोन. Okay. So a shoot may be primary meristems रहते, apex में भी और root apex में भी primary meristems रहते, which will cause primary growth of the plant body. That means they will increase the length of the plant. Okay. अब देख रहे पिक्चर क्या है कि intercalary meristems which are found in grasses. एक grasses monocots के अंदर आता है. So they create red colored part which is intercalary meristems, which are present in internodes. So which are present in internodes. So they create bamboo grasses, इसमें इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टम्स रहता है. ये कहा रहता है कि इंटरनोडल रीजन में रहता. ओके. सो उसको क्या बोलते हैं कि इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टम्स. सो अभी तक कभी पढ़े बेस्ड ऑन ऑरिजिन, प्रोमेरिस्टम्स, प्राइमरी मेरिस्टम्स. सो बाद में आएंगे सेकेंडरी मेरिस्टम्स. The secondary meristems, they will not come from starting stage of the life cycle. They will come formed later on of the life plan stage, the later stages of life cycle of a plant. And ये कहाँ से पैदा होता है कि they will come from permanent tissues. So what is that process is called? De-differentiation. De-differentiation, they will gain the property which is lost. That means they will gain the property of cell division. So during differentiation, they lose the property of cell division. Later on, by de-differentiation, again they will arise into power of, that is, de-differentiation. They will develop into secondary meristems. Okay. So based on origin, pro-meristems, primary meristems, secondary meristems रहता है. Based on position, इसमें 3 types है, apical, intercalary और lateral. Okay. अब देख रहे हैं secondary meristems और lateral meristems. Interfascicular cambium, fascicular cambium, these all are examples of lateral, secondary meristem and lateral meristem. Okay. So अभी तक हमें पढ़ाया the meristem's general characteristic features, its classification of meristems based on the what we call based on the position, and next one is based on the position from which they will allow. Okay. So a meristematic tissues के बारे में. So plants में नया cells के अंदर से आता है कि due to meristematic tissues by mitosis division. Okay. So अभी तक हमें पढ़ा है meristematic tissues के बारे में. अभी हमें पढ़ाएंगे permanent tissues के बारे में. Okay. So permanent बोले तो they are mature, they are not young, they are old, and they will lose, that is, the power of cell division. इसमें power of cell division है, the loss of power of cell division. Okay. And they are specialized, that means they are differentiated, functionally separate, specialized, which are called functional. Okay. So functionally specialized. A cactus में क्या होता है कि they are lost the power of division, they won't divide. During differentiation, they lost this property, and the time that is they reach to maturity. They reach to maturity. Permanent tissues में 2 types है, the simple permanent tissues, complex permanent tissues. Simple बोले तो इसमें they consist of only one type of cell. Complex means they have more than one type of cell. Okay. So simple means they have more than one type of cell. Complex means they have only more than, that is, 2 types of cells in a tissue. Okay. So permanent tissues के बारे में. इसमें simple tissues, that is, the simple permanent tissues. इसमें 3 types रहता है. parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Okay. और complex permanent tissues में भी 2 types, the xylem और phloem. Okay. इसमें 2 types, xylem और phloem. Simple में 3 types, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. पहले हमें पढ़ेंगे simple permanent tissues के बारे में. So they are made up of one type of cell. They are differentiated. They have lost the property of cell division. Okay. इसमें parenchyma के बारे में आए तो इसमें parenchyma which will occupy the major component of any organ of body, that is root, stem, leaf. Okay. इसमें thin walled रहता. The cell wall is thin walled, only with the primary cell wall. They are only with primary cell wall, middle lamellar and primary cell. Isodiametric, wherever you take the diameter, it is same in the cells, or exactly a circle. Okay. So some cells will retain capacity to divide at maturity, not all cells, and there are no intercellular space. Okay. और उसका फंक्शन क्या है कि स्टोरेज. So इसमें आए तो दिस इज, इसमें फूड स्टोर होता है, इसमें क्या होता है कि फूड स्टोर होता है। ये पैरेंकाइमा, कुछ पैरेंकाइमा में क्लोरोप्लास्ट रहता। So what will happen if chloroplast is present? If chloroplast is present, they will synthesize chlorophyll. They will synthesize chlorophyll. Okay. So chloroplast in parenchyma cells which have chloroplast, they will perform photosynthesis. इसमें क्या होता है कि they will perform photosynthesis. Okay. So these are the characteristic features of parenchyma. So cells are thin-walled, isodiametric, retain the capacity to divide at maturity, no intercellular spaces. उसका functions में है तो storage, photosynthesis, and even in some cells, in some examples, these parenchyma are arranged in a system of intercellular spaces, उसके cells which will constitute parenchyma. Okay, which will constitute parenchyma. So parenchyma means the cells, parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces which will store gases. Parenchyma. Chloroenchyma means the parenchyma with that is the parenchyma with chloroplast which will perform photosynthesis. Okay. And generally parenchyma will store food materials. So they will store food materials. Okay. They will store food materials means they will come under the category of leucoplasts. So which will store food materials, which is white in color. Okay. So they create a picture. So these are cells of parenchyma which has lost the power of cell division, but they have. सेल के बीच में एम्प्टी स्पेसेस को क्या बोलते हैं कि intercellular space. Here intercellular space is present, whereas in meristematic tissues there is no intercellular space. Okay. So here you can see in parenchyma, if you take in the center there is a large vacuole and the nucleus is pushed to periphery. This is nucleus which is pushed to periphery. This is the difference between the what we call the parenchyma and meristematic tissues. In meristematic tissues, in the center of the cell, there is a large nucleus surrounded by small vacuoles. Here it is quite opposite. In the center, there is a vacuole which is where the nucleus is pushed to one periphery of the cytoplasm. So this is how the parenchyma is present in the plants. So parenchyma का functions क्या होता है? So depending upon the position and location, the functions will be differing. Okay. For example, if you take the transverse section of dicot leaf, transverse section of dicot leaf. In a dicot leaf, we can see towards upper epidermis there are palisade parenchyma which have chloroplasts. These are elongated parenchyma which has chloroplasts, which are called palisade parenchyma. What is this palisade parenchyma? So which are elongated, which have chloroplasts, which are present only towards the what we call upper epidermis of a dicot leaf. What is their function is photosynthesis. उसका function क्या है कि photosynthesis. उसमें क्लोरोप्लास्ट रहता है, इसलिए उसका फंक्शन क्या है कि क्लोरोप्लास्ट फोटोसिंथेसिस। सो अभी तक हमें पढ़ाया परमानेंट सिंपल परमानेंट टिश्यूज, इसमें पैरेन्काइमा के बारे में पढ़े। सो नाउ वी विल स्टडी अबाउट कोलेनकाइमा। So these colenenchyma, which are variously this colenenchyma, which is leaves at maturity, which are variously shaped, and it is thickened with pectose, unevenly thickened with pectose. Okay. इन डाइकोट स्टेम एपिडर्मिस के नीचे रहता है कोलेनकाइमा, और इसमें कोलेनकाइमा में कुछ सेल्स में क्लोरोप्लास्ट रहता है। So some cells of colenenchyma will have chloroplast. So what is the function of chloroplast? If chloroplast is present, इसका फंक्शन है कि फोटोसिंथेसिस। इसका फंक्शन क्या है कि फोटोसिंथेसिस। Other than photosynthesis, what they will do? They will provide strength and flexibility to growing organs like stem. Okay. So this colenenchyma will give strength and flexibility to growing organs, so that they are not broken down easily. So when wind comes forcefully, what happens is the stems or branches will bend and they will come to normal position again. This is the flexibility and the strength. So you can see colenenchyma. So these are cells of colenenchyma, which is just present below the dicot stem. And you can see irregular thickening with pectose. So it is thickened irregularly with pectose, which is the characteristic feature of this, the colenenchyma. You can see in this colenenchyma, these are wall thickenings which are unevenly distributed. At the corners there is more thickening. सेंटर में एक बड़ा वैक्यूल रहता है और वेयर न्यूक्लियस इज पुश्ड टू पेरिफेरी, एंड द सेल वॉल इज थिक, कोलेनकाइमा का फंक्शन क्या है कि फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, स्ट्रेंथ एंड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, along with some colenenchyma will have chloroplast where their function is photosynthesis. Next we'll come to simple permanent tissue, the last simple permanent tissue. So इसको क्या बोलते हैं कि स्क्रीलेनकाइमा। स्क्रीलेनकाइमा एक स्पेशलाइज्ड कैरेक्टर है। इसमें क्या है कि these are dead cells at maturity, they are dead, but when you take parenchyma and colenenchyma, they are living. And cell wall is thickened with lignin. Lignified means it is deposited with lignin, and they give mechanical support to organs. What they will do? Mechanical support to organs. So classification में आया तो, so based on that this shape and position, there are screllids which are called stone cells. There are fibers which are elongated. Okay. So screllids means they are oval shaped or spherical shaped which have very thick wall with narrow lumen. They have very thick wall with narrow lumen. And they are generally found in fruits, that is in the shells of nuts, pulp of fruits and tea leaves. So due to this screllids only, the shells or the seeds of these fruits are very hard to pluck. So to crack it is very hard. fibers which are elongated and thick-walled. So they are found in groups. They are present in xylem and phloem cortex and the pericycle. Okay. So स्क्रीलेंकाइमा में दो टाइप्स रहता, स्क्रीलिट्स और नेक्स्ट एक है कि फाइबर्स. अब देख रहे हैं स्क्रीलेंकाइमा. This is sclerenchyma, which is the cell wall is deposited with lignin. Picture में देख रहे हैं fiber. Fiber is a elongated structure which is dead. So cytoplasm nucleus नहीं रहता, सिर्फ empty space रहता, उसको क्या बोलते हैं कि lumen. And the cell wall is thick, which is lignified. Lignified means which is deposited with lignin. Which is deposited with lignin. Screlets में है तो they are irregular in shape and they have very thick cell wall. You can see there is a very lumen is very narrow. Cell wall is very thick. These are pit canals which are branched. Okay. Screlets कहाँ रहता? In net shells of fruits, these all. Like you can see walnut. The shell of walnut will have screlets. That's why they are very hot. In some fruits, okay, they are found. Due to this, we feel very hard while taking this type of fruits, like walnut. We should break the seed, then you'll get the fruit which you will consume. Okay. So this is about screlets. Okay. So अभी तक हमें पढ़ाया simple permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues means where they are made up of lignified cell wall is thick and they are dead. इसमें दो टाइप्स रहता, फाइबर और स्क्रीलेट्स. फाइबर्स आर elongated structure and whereas screlets are short and they are rigid structures with uneven cell wall. Okay, the cell wall is uneven. The cell wall is lignified with lignin, which is very thick. They are dead at maturity. They don't have cytoplasm nucleus. Okay. So इसको क्या बोलते हैं कि screlets. Okay. अभी if you come to overall classification of plant tissues, इसमें दो types रहता है, meristematic tissues और permanent tissues. Permanent tissues में simple बोले तो parenchyma, collenchyma, complex बोले तो xylem and phloem. Simple meristematic tissues में दो classifications है based on origin, based on position. Origin, promeristems, primary meristems, secondary meristems. Based on position, apical, intercalary and lateral meristems. In simple permanent tissues, there are parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. In complex permanent tissues, it is xylem and phloem. Thank you all for watching SPSVERSITY. Follow us on social media. We'll meet in the next session.